Hi, hello. Welcome to Devon Monk's Works and Worlds. This is another Monk Monday check-in. I think this is check-in number 3. We're going to talk a little bit about how writing's going, um, whether or not I'm going to be filming up at the Rainforest Writing Retreat, and, of course, knitting. But besides knitting, we're also going to do a quick little grab bag. Subjects, maybe 2 or 3 subjects. So let's just roll right into it. Okay, how's writing going? Pretty well, thank you. Brood of All Evil is coming along. I actually have most of the outline. I have started. I'm excited to see what I'm going to get to do with this book and how it's going to turn out. There's a lot of really funny things that I'm going to enjoy writing in it. And so I'm excited for this adventure. If you've been following along with Ordinary Magic, I will give you this little spoiler, although if you haven't been following along with Ordinary Magic, it's not so much of a spoiler that I'm going to ruin anything for you, but there's gonna be a wedding for somebody in this book. Somehow, maybe, if things work out. I mean, I haven't written it yet. It's possible there's not gonna be a wedding, but that's the initial plan. We will see what happens. Other news about writing. I have started a side project that I should not be writing. It's something that I've wanted to do for years, and so I'm dabbling in it, and I keep kind of like moving toward it and wanting to do it, and then pulling myself back to my responsibilities. Get, Brood of All Evil done. That's what's due next. That's what I have copy editing set up for and proofing set up for. I have a time limit on this one. I need to get it done, but then I find myself sort of sliding over again to that other project. So we'll see who wins, responsible Devon or less responsible Devon. Okay, so writing is going well, thank you. I'm working on it. I'm happy to be in the middle of this book and finally really getting it going now. Knitting. I am working on the knitting for Rainforest. Right now it is only partially done. I brought it so you could see the partial that I'm doing. Again, at Rainforest Writers Retreat. Rainforest Writers Village is what I think it's actually called. I usually give away a toy and nobody sees it until the actual last day of the retreat. And it's a raffle item. And the way that they do the raffle is all the prizes are spread out on the table. And then the person with the highest word count gets to choose first. Person with the second highest word count gets to choose second, and then names are drawn out of a hat for the next choices. So I always try to offer up a knit toy, and I am this year, and I have only just begun it, and it is a mess. It is a mess, and I'm going to show you my mess because this is how it goes, people. Creativity starts out messy. So here we go. I'm going to bring it up to the camera. It looks like nothing because it is nothing. It is a messy, yucky thing. Yucky, yucky, yucky. So yeah, this is not much of much. About a day's worth of knitting. I worked at it on the weekend in between pulling blackberries out of my flower beds because spring's coming on fast and those blackberries always get a head start on me, and I was determined to get a head start on them this year. But the knitting's going along well. I still have a couple other projects that I need to tie off besides this knitted prize. Like I haven't started the knitted toy for the February newsletter, so we'll see if I get it done or not in time. It might have to be something really small. Okay, so writing is going well and knitting is going well, and we have used up very little time of the video, so now I'm going to go for the grab bag. This is, give it a shake. This is a little, I think it's little wooden box. It's kind of pretty, right? I don't know where I got it. Somebody gave it to me years ago. Anyway, I put papers in it. Subjects that I thought I could talk about, but at random, because I am terrible at coming up with ideas when I'm sitting in front of the camera. So this will solve it. Unless you want to ask me questions. If you ask me questions, I will do those instead of this business. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do some of this business. Ready? We'll start with 1. Maybe we'll do 2. It depends on if I stump myself. I put things in here that I thought, do I really want to answer questions about that? We'll see. Okay, so here we go. I need to not look at it because otherwise it might not be fair. Okay, so let's see. Okay, here's one. I just pulled this out. This is an interesting one to do. Put it up there so you can see it. Oh, come on, camera. Work with me, baby. No, no working, no working. Come on, camera, you can do it. Well, it's camera. I'm going to give up on this. Oh, it almost did it. This is, that says cardamom oak. C-A-R, maybe if I cover up everything. There we go. Cardamom oak. So cardamom oak is a character in the new tie-in novella that I'm writing for the Souls of the Road series. Cardamom oak is half dryad, half wizard. And he is part of Ricky, who is the Crossroads in Wayward Moon. He is part of her past. He comes to her with trouble, and she has to decide whether or not she's going to get involved in that and what that means if she does. So Cardamom Oak is a new character that you'll be meeting in the novella called Oak and Ink. He's the Oak of the Oak and Ink. So Oak and Ink, which will be coming out in Dirty Deeds 2 in June of 2022. And then after the collection is out, Dirty Deeds 2, there'll be 5 authors in there, which I think I mentioned before, but I'll do it again. Faith Hunter, Jennifer Estep, Diana Farrow, Francis, RJ Blaine, and myself, Devon Monk. We all will have stories in there from our various urban fantasy series. And that collection, Dirty Deeds 2, will be out for like 6 months, and then it'll be taken down. You won't be able to get it again. Now, I do plan on putting out my story, self-publishing that story, not Cardamom Oak, it's called Oak and Ink. I will publish that later in the year, or actually in 2023, because if Dirty Deeds 2 comes out in June and it's out for 6 months, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So yeah, I would say expect it in 2023 out on its own. But if you want to get my story and all those other great stories, Dirty Deeds 2, I'll try to put a link down below to that. So that's Cardamom Oak. You know a little bit about him. He was a fun character to write. I didn't expect him to be who he was when I first came up with the idea of him, but I loved learning him as I was writing him, and I would totally want to see more stories with him and with Ricky sometime in the future. So let me know if, well, you haven't read them yet, but, do you like it when writers take side characters and do little stories off of them? I like it, but I know some readers really only like the main characters. We're going to pull another out of the old grab bag. Oh, interesting. Why in the world did I even put this in there? Okay, I'm going to hold it up. This is what we get. So this is for the writers out there, maybe. This is Trilogies. I could say a lot about Trilogies. I'm actually giving a talk up at Rainforest Village, Rainforest Writers Retreat, whatever it's called that I can't remember. I'm doing a talk about series and how they connect together and how I tend to think of series in trilogy chunks. So even the Allie Beckstrom books, which were my very first series, shout out to the Allie Beckstrom fans. Hi. Can't believe you guys are still reading me. You're amazing. Okay, so when I first wrote the Allie Beckstrom series, well, the first book was a short story that didn't get sold, which I was kind of glad, because after I wrote the short story, I realized I've got a lot of world here and a lot of character here, and I'd like to expand it. And so then I pitched it as a novel, which we then pitched as a trilogy, which got picked up by Penguin at that time, Penguin Random House now. And then we pitched the next 3 in the series and the next 3 in the series kind of as a 9-book series built out of 3 trilogies. So trilogies are definitely a way that my brain works for story. Even in the Ordinary Magic series, I did 3 novellas from each of the sisters' points of view. Jean, the youngest sister, I did a Halloween story. Delaney, the eldest sister, I did a Christmas story, and Myra, the middle sister, I did a Valentine's story, and those are collected in Rock, Paper, Scissors, because the titles of each of the, I don't know why I did air quotes, they really are the titles, so ignore the air quotes. The titles of each of the novellas is Rock Candy, Paper Stars, and Scissor Kisses, so that's why I titled that little collection Rocks, Paper, Scissors. But again, I was thinking in 3s. I was thinking 3 novellas, 3 holidays collected up into 1 book. So yeah, I tend to think in trilogies, and other writers might too. I don't know. I think humans are we're used to that 3-story structure. I think my editor once told me that duologies are more difficult for readers to hook into, the 1-2 books, because we're kind of looking for that three. We're used to the beginning, middle, end, the just that 3-act structure. We're very used to that kind of thing, and so I think it feeds into trilogies very nicely. So yes, I like trilogies. I write trilogies. Let's do one more, and then we'll just maybe call this one a short video. Let's see. Here we go. Look at the box up here so you can see that I'm trying not to actually look at it. Ooh, but I can see it in the camera. I'll try not to look. Okay. What did we get? Oh, that's, you see me. I'm randomly choosing these. Valentine. Another side character. Valentine is a side character in the Souls of the Road novels. And he is a werewolf who has died. So he is a ghost werewolf. So he is both a ghost in his human form, and his werewolf self is with him. And he showed up in Wayward Moon. I knew we were going to run into somebody who is going to be a part of the Wayward Moon story with Lula and Brogan, which are the main characters. But I had run into a ghost in the first book, Wayward Souls, and I thought, surely I'm not going to do a ghost again in the second book, because we don't need to do ghosts in every book. That's not my intention. But then Valentine just showed up in this scene in a bar, and I'm like, what are you going to do? Some characters just present themselves to the narrative. And as a writer, I have the right to just get rid of that character and not even think about them again, or kind of follow up on that intuition and see where it goes. And for Valentine, he, for me, became really a necessary story point in that book. I loved him in that book enough that he ends up being in, I hope I'm not spoiling anything, but he does end up being in Oak and Ink because of the decisions he made in book one. Not book one, it's his book one, but it's book 2 of the Souls of the Road series. Because of the decisions he made, he ends up in this tie-in novella, Oak and Ink, and he's a very fun character in there. It's fun to have a ghost because they can go places other people can't go. They can say things other people can't say because nobody can hear them, right? And sometimes they can do things that other people can't do. So they're really a fun character to run narrative with. But I think just having a ghost with no connection to the world can be a more difficult narrative. It's really nice if they can interact with somebody in some way. And I guess I'm not all that surprised that I had another ghost show up in the second book of the series, because really part of Wayward Souls is that connection of how do we hold on to the people that we love even when we aren't necessarily in their physical space, right? And as I say that, that sounds like it's a reaction to so many things. That question can be applied to if someone has passed. That question can be applied to the separations that we've had to have because of work or duty in our lives, or the separations that we've had to have because of pandemics or borders. And it definitely is a human experience. And, what I will say is love conquers all, and that's cheesy, but I believe that, love connects us. And I think that's part of what I'm exploring in the Souls of the Road books is how far we will go for love and how far love will go for us. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised that I ended up with Valentine as a ghost in the tie-in or in the second book, because again, it's that question of how are we connected and how do we reach through our distances to find each other again. Okay, a little monk philosophy. That's it. That's actually the end of the video, right about time to call it. So if you have questions for me, please put them in the comments below. I will try to answer them, and I will also try to do videos about them. You can ask me about my books or about the blackberries in my yard or other issues in my yard. We are always modifying something in the house. I can talk about that. I always have some weird art thing going. I do occasionally read books. Anyway, if you want to ask me anything, ask me about knitting, ask me about writing, or I'm happy to answer. So I'm going to close it off now. Thank you for coming to Monday Monk. I think that's what it's called. Well, thank you for coming to Devon Monk's Works and Worlds. I know that's what this is called. And I will hopefully see you soon. Until then, happy reading, happy lifing, and just enjoy yourself. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.